All right, YouTube Access and Allies brethren, welcome back to Tour at 2 in Wake Forest, North Carolina for this 42.2 version of Access and Allies between No Limit as the Allies and myself, Captain Jack, as the bad guys, the Axis powers. This is Japan's second round turn, so J2. For their purchases or build this turn or production, we're going to produce 2 destroyers, 2 tanks, and 1 submarine. So 2 destroyers, 2 tanks, and 1 sub. For our only combat battle this round, we're going to go down into Sea Zone 36 and hopefully take care of these 2 transports and this cruiser of the UK. We've got this submarine coming from Sea Zone 47, doing a surprise strike. And we've got this fighter from the aircraft carrier in Sea Zone 61 coming down and supporting it. So hopefully we'll be able to take care of that. So let's see what happens on the dice board. All right, so for the surprise strike, the submarine will get to roll 1 2-hit die. See if it can take out that cruiser, 2 transports. Here is the roll for the surprise strike. And it was a miss. It was a miss for the surprise strike. So now the fighter will get to fire for the Japanese at 1 blue 3-hit die. And it was a miss. So now the cruiser will get to fire back at the fighter at 1 blue 3-hit die as well. Let's see what happens. And it was a miss. Okay, so on to round 2. So surprise strike for the submarine again. 1 submarine firing at a 2. 1 blue, well, excuse me, 1 green 2-hit die. And it was a miss. All right, so the fighter will now fire again for a regular battle. Fighter against cruiser, fighter against cruiser. Just like the Battle of Midway. And it was a hit. So the cruiser has been destroyed. And let's see if it fires back, if it can retaliate and get a hit as well. And it missed. All right, so the battle for Sea Zone 36 is complete. The cruiser and the 2 UK transports have been destroyed. The fighter and submarine both survive. And the music kicks back in. All right, here we go. So that was the 1 battle for this round. Now I'll be back for non-combat movements. All right, so for non-combat movements this turn, we've got several things going on. We have, oh, let me make a correction here. Setting up the board earlier. Okay, so for Siberia, we've got 1 tank that's going to move into the Soviet Far East and then into Yakut, taking the 2 land possessions there, moving the Japanese up from 31 to 33. Okay. The infantry, the 3 infantry there. 1 is going to move into the Soviet Far East, and the other 2 are going to move with the tank into Yakut. All right, so the bomber in Manchuria is going to move back to Japan, and the fighter also is going to move back to Japan. The destroyer, one of the destroyers in Sea Zone 62 is going to move to Sea Zone 63. The destroyer in Sea Zone 60 is going to move to Sea Zone 58. The other destroyer in Sea Zone 62 is going to move down to 51 off the coast of Okinawa. Transport in Sea Zone 62 is going to pick up 1 artillery and 1 infantry and move off the coast of Okinawa. The submarine in Sea Zone 60 is going to move off the coast of Okinawa. The Sea Zone 51, that's the sea zone that's in. Transport in Sea Zone 61 is going to pick up an infantry and artillery in the Philippine Islands and take them to Sea Zone 51 as well. And the rest of the fleet in C-Zone 61 is going to move over into C-Zone 51. If I can do that gracefully. The fighter that took part in the battle in C-Zone 36 is going to move 2 spaces, 1, 2, and land back on the carrier in C-Zone 51. So I think that will do it. Oh, no. We have one more non-combat. The 2 infantry in C-Zone, the 2 infantry in Anway are going to move south into Quang Tung. They're going to move south into Quang Tung. All right, so for placement of new units, we have 2 destroyers are going to go down into C-Zone 60. Sub that's going to go down into C-Zone 60. And 2 tanks are going to go down into Manchuria. All right, so for unit recap, we have 1 tank and 2 infantry in Yakut. We have 1 infantry in the Soviet Far East. We have 1 destroyer in C-Zone 63. In Manchuria, we have 2 tanks. On the Big Island of Japan, we have 2 infantry, 1 AA gun, 1 bomber, 1 fighter. Off the coast of Japan, in C-Zone 60, we have 2 destroyers and 1 submarine. In C-Zone 58, we have 1 destroyer. In Iwo Jima, we have 1 infantry. In Okinawa, we have 1 infantry. Off the coast of Okinawa, in C-Zone 51, we have 1 carrier with 1 fighter, 1 battleship, 1 cruiser, 1 submarine, 2 transports, each carrying 1 infantry and 1 artillery, and another destroyer. In Wake Island, we have 1 infantry. Caroline Islands, 1 infantry. New Guinea, 1 infantry. Solomon Islands, 1 infantry. Borneo, 1 infantry. East Indies, 2 infantry. And off C-Zone 36, there's 1 submarine. Quang Tung, there's 2 infantry. In Manchuria, there's 2 tanks. I may have said that already, but I just want to make sure. 1 tank, 2 tanks, and 1 industrial complex. So that'll do it for non-combat movements, and this is the conclusion of the J2 turn. Next up will be the U.S. turn 2, captained by No Limit. So from Turret 2 in Wake Forest, North Carolina, Captain Jack, over and out.